And I'm going to record. So welcome everyone to the Flex class on Wednesday nights. I'm going to do a little bit more of an intro tonight just because we have some new people joining us. So I'm Lily, I teach this class. As far as just kind of some basic rules, or no real rules around here, but some information. I keep the screen spotlighted on myself the whole time just so that it's easier for you guys to follow along with what I'm doing. If you want to switch it over to gallery view and see everybody, you can, but just within the classes, sometimes it's easier just to kind of follow along with me. If you want to share your screen, share your video, that's up to you. You can, you don't have to. You're not obligated to. I am going to mute everyone. I already did mute everybody. Zoom is not the best for streaming music. So unfortunately with these classes, I don't stream music to you, but I do highly encourage that you play music because that makes your exercises usually a little bit more enjoyable. So feel free. Play your music. No one's going to judge you because you'll be on mute. So we won't be able to hear what you're listening to anyway. So feel free to play music if you like. Equipment for today, I put it in the chat box, but if you have some sort of weight, some sort of dumbbells, that's beneficial. I'm going to do one exercise with a band today, one of the resistance bands. If you have a yoga ball, one of those big yoga balls in your house, go ahead and grab it. I'm going to show an exercise with that. If you have a step, stairs, or a chair, that's all something that you might use tonight as well. If you have a mat or a space that you don't mind laying down on the ground, I am going to be doing some exercises where you're going to be laying on a mat. So if you have a carpeted area in your house that you don't mind laying down in, that will also work. Okay, so all those things are fine. I'm going to be showing you guys a couple different ways to do exercises that use that type of equipment in case you don't have it at home. So you'll just follow along with me. We start every class with a dynamic warm-up, so I'll be going through that. And then the way I teach is I do some straight sets, which means we just do one exercise, we take some rest, and then we repeat, and then we do some supersets, which means I go back and forth between two different exercises. So you'll see a little bit of both of that in tonight's class. Do what you like to do. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it, skip it, do something else. This is your own workout, so make it that way. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get going. All righty, so we're gonna start with our warm up. So we're gonna start with 30 jumping jacks. Your jumping jacks might look like this. They might look like just a step touch here. Both are totally fine and okay. Whenever you're ready, we're going for 30. Pause and rest when you get to 30. Forgot to start my watch again. If you guys got watches, give yourself credit. Go ahead and start your workout. All right, going through a series of stretches, so standing up nice and tall, you're just gonna look over your right shoulder. And then back to your center, looking over your left shoulder. And back to center, tilting your right ear down towards your right shoulder. Back to center, left ear down towards your left shoulder. Back to center, now we're gonna do head rolls to drop your chin down. We're gonna go around to the right. Do 3 head rolls around to the right. Keep your eyes open so you don't get dizzy. Make sure you're breathing, take your time. And then once you get those 3, just reverse, 3 around to the left. When you're right back to center, we're just gonna work our way down with our shoulders, shoulder rolls up, around, and forward. So a couple rolls, just incorporating the shoulders. And then start to add those elbows in for a couple. And then big arm circles all the way up, around, and forward. Opening up your chest and shoulders. Two more forward. And then we're going to reverse it, starting again, just the shoulders up, down, and back. And then start to incorporate your elbows. And then full arm circles up, around, and back. 2 more. And then take those arms out wide, and then just cross them over your chest. Nice and easy. Just let the arms swing. We're opening up the chest here. Leaving some tension, especially if you've been sitting on your computer all day. Let's do 3 more. Excellent. Shake it on out. Moving down to our hips. We're going to bring our feet right underneath our hips. Knees are going to stay unlocked. We're going to do hip hinges. So bring your hands to your hips. Send your tailbone back, leaning forward with a straight back. And then you're coming up to standing. So we're working on stretching on the back side of the body, the hamstring. So make sure that spine stays long and straight. Knees stay unlocked. Eyes out on the horizon. Do 2 more here. And then coming back up to standing, facing back towards the middle. Take your feet super wide now. We're going to keep going with our hip motions. We're going to tilt our right hip up and out to the side. Try to keep your legs straight. You should feel this stretch on the inner portion of your left leg. Breathe into it. And then come through center, opposite side, left hip up. Kind of like I'm a little teapot. And then coming up through center, walk your feet back in just a couple inches. And we're going to do hip circles. So trying to keep the legs straight again. We're going to bring the hip around to the side, front, side, and back. Nice and easy. Let's do 3 around to the right, 3 around to the left. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, go ahead and do so. Try to keep the legs as straight as you can. It'll help to stretch out the backs of those legs. And once you get 3 and 3, make your way back to center. Bring those feet right underneath your hips. Knees unlocked, hands come down to the kneecaps. We're going to do some knee circles down, around, and forward. So heels stay on the ground. We're just moving the knees around just a little bit. This shouldn't be painful. This is just to create some movement. Let's do 1 more and then reverse the direction. Go down and around to the left. Let's do 2 more. And then coming back to standing, we've got 2 more motions to go through in this warm-up. We're going to take our left foot forward, right foot back, kind of coming to somewhat of a lunge stance. If you need to do this standing by a chair or wall or something for balance support, please do so. Back leg is going to stay straight, heel is pressing down. You're going to bend and extend the front knee, okay? So what we're doing is we're stretching out that back calf and that front ankle. Again, shouldn't be painful. Limit your range of motion if you're feeling any sort of pain. Again, we're still just warming up. Let's do 3 more on this side, and then we're just going to switch sides. So carefully take your time, switching directions, opposite foot forward and back. Same thing, bend and extend that front leg. Back heel stays down. You hear some cracking, that's fine. My ankle's cracking. Well, it's not painful. Let's do 2 more. And then carefully coming back to center. Last of our stretches, we're going to do our ankle stretches. So we're going to point and flex our right foot. Again, if you need to hold on to something for balance, do so. And then do some ankle circles around to the right. And then reverse ankle circles around to the left. Shake it on out, switch it on up, point and flex. On the left foot now. And then circle around to the left. And then circles around to the right. All right, go ahead, shake it on out. That's it for our warm-up. Go grab a sip of water if you need to. Our first exercise tonight, we will be doing something with weights. So this is a good time to grab those weights, whatever you got in your house. And we're starting with dumbbell reverse lunges. So I'm going to go through the motion, then we're going to go through it together. We're going to do 3 sets of everything today. So reverse just refers to the direction that we're going with the lunge. So we're starting feet together. We're going to be stepping back into a lunge, okay? So when you step back, you're stepping back to the ball of your toe. So don't set the back foot down, okay? Because that's gonna need to come right back up. So you're stepping wide step back to the ball of your toe. And then from there, you're sending that knee straight down. So from a side view, you're staying your knee, your hip, and your shoulder in one line. From this bent position, you're gonna push off and you're gonna come back 2 feet together, okay? The way that we're gonna do this is we're gonna do all 10 on our right side, and then we're gonna switch. We're gonna do all 10 on our left. Holding weights is actually optional here because if lunges are hard enough without the weights, don't add the weights. If you want the weights, they come to either side of your body and they're just gonna stay there as you do the lunge. Okay, so we're gonna do 10 on either side and then we're gonna take a rest to regroup. We'll talk about it a little bit and then we'll go again. So we're gonna go for our first set, either holding weights or not holding weights. Make sure you got space behind you. We're stepping back to the ball of the right foot, pressing off, coming back to center, going for 10. Keep that back straight. Pushing off that back foot. And once you get 10 on one side, you're just gonna reverse direction. I'm just gonna switch sides of my mat so I can show the opposite side. Again, 10 on the second side. Back straight, back heel up. And once you get your 10, go ahead, set your weights down. Take a little bit of a breather here. So some things I want to talk about with the lunges. When you're stepping back, make sure you're stepping back wide enough. That's a common mistake with lunges. I'm a pretty short person, I'm 5'2". So when I step back, the length that I step back should be about the height of myself, okay, or my wingspan. So that might not seem like a whole lot on camera because I'm not very tall, but a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll cut themselves short, and what they'll do is they'll just take a mini micro step back because they're worried about their balance, and then they end up here, and their knees caving in, maybe your heel's coming up, and it's super uncomfortable for your knee. So if you're one of those people, I want you to think really wide, like go as far back as you can. Bring that leg as far back as you can. It's gonna give you a lot more room to actually do your lunge. The other thing is the balance. So lunges really do help to train balance, but if your balance is really poor right now and it's something that you're working on and you were just falling over that whole last set, what I'd rather have you do is something called a stationary lunge. So it's similar to what we just did, but you don't move, okay? So what you would do is you start in that position, so you got plenty of time to get yourself set up nice and wide, back heel is up, front heel is down, nice and wide with my legs, and I would just stay here. I would just go up and down, okay? So I'm not moving forward and back. This still requires balance. It still requires me to balance here. I would do 10, and then I'd switch. I'd get myself all nice and set up, and I would do 10. I could even do this holding on to a chair. I could do this holding onto a wall. So if you feel like that's more like where you're at today, go ahead and make that modification and take it into that static hold, just up and down. Don't even worry about the weights if that's you. If that's not you and you are perfectly fine with your lunges, go ahead and grab your weights. Come with me. We're going into set number 2, feet together, big wide step back, knee down, press off, come back, feet together. 10 on our right, 10 on our left. Keep that back nice and tall. Think about stacking that hip in the knee and breathe. And then same on your second side. Whatever you did on your first side is what I want you doing on your second side. Big wide stance. and 10. Once you get your 2 sets of 10, whichever way you did them, make sure you take a little bit of break, breathe, or set weights down if you use them. Last little tip I want to talk about with our lunges is your knee position and your back position. So depth is another aspect of this. By depth, I mean, how low are you getting? You should be getting to the point where you're just hovering off the floor, but that's not a real possibility for a lot of people if you're just starting off, you haven't done lunges, or if you've had a knee surgery, you have complications with your knees. A lot of reasons for why that might not be possible. So it might look like I'm getting really low in my lunge. For you, this might be where you're at today. Always stop before a point of pain. So if here hurts and here feels okay, I want you to stop here, okay? That makes sense. Everybody's at a different point. You can kind of see where we want to end up and ideal, but if it hurts today, I don't want you going any lower. The other thing I want you to think about is your back position. This is a lower body exercise. We sometimes forget about everything that our upper body is doing, but take a look. Make sure you're not looking like this, like you've got a whole lower body thing going on, but then your upper body's collapsing. So I'm saying keep that straight back. So think, kind of open up your chest. If you keep your eyes out instead of down, that also might help a little bit in that back position. The last little things to think about going into our last set here of our reverse lunges, however we'd like to do them. 10 on each side. Keep that back tall. Push off that back foot. And 10. Go ahead, switch sides whenever you're ready. If you're doing stationary, make sure you're balanced before you start the lunge. And 10. Same thing. Once you reach your last set here, take a little break, grab some water. Good news is we're done with lunges. Now, if you're someone at home that has one of these lying around your house, might be dusty, this is the time to grab it. So this next exercise I'm going to show you guys, it's going to be using the ball. If you have one, awesome. If you don't, you're not off the hook. You can use a bench if you have a bench. If you don't have a bench, I guarantee you have a floor that you're standing on. You're going to do this on the floor, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate on the ball just because a lot of people have this around their house, and it's nice to incorporate it if we can. But if you don't have a ball, I'm just going to show you real quick. You're going to be doing this exercise lying flat on your mat, knees bent, back supported here, okay? The benefit of having the ball or the bench is we're about to do a chest fly. So in this exercise, if you're doing it on the floor, you can't really get the full range of motion with your elbows dropping a little bit below your rib cage because the floor will be there. That's okay. You're still going to get the major motion of the exercise. The ball allows for that to happen. Okay, safety with the ball. Make sure you know where it is at all times. Make sure you're secure and sitting on it before you start moving and going anywhere. Okay, so this is how I get into place. I grab my weight, go over to my ball. I'm going to sit on it. I want to make sure I'm secure just sitting on it before I try to go anywhere. Okay, from here, I'm going to slowly walk my feet out until both my head and my upper back are supported by the ball. Okay, from here, I'm going to lift my hips up off the ball because I'm going to get a little added core work in as I do this. You could kind of set the hips down and just let them relax. Just don't arch the back. You want a little bit of more core work, lift those hips off the mat, off the ball. From here, you're going to take your weight. You're going to come right over your chest. Okay, so they're straight over your chest. You're going to unlock your elbows. Okay, so don't bend your arms, just unlock the elbows. From here, arms come out to the side. You're going to keep drawing them out to the side as far as you can go until your weights are right about in line with your chest. The backs of my arms are touching the ball or the mat. And then I'm going to push back up to center. We're going to repeat that 12 times. Out to the side, press up to center. If you're rolling all around on your ball, make your feet wider. Okay, that'll give you a little bit better base. We're going for 12, guys. Hope you're counting. That's one thing. Once I start talking, I don't know what I'm on anymore. I just start guessing. But ideally, we're doing 12. Elbows unlocked. And once you reach that 12, carefully bring the weights down to your chest. If you're on the ball, keep them at your chest as you walk your feet back and you come to a seated position, okay? From there, you can drop the weights, you can get up, you can do whatever you like. If you're on the ground, bring the weights down to your chest and lower them over to the floor. Hopefully we all ended safely. Hopefully the balls didn't go rolling away down your street. If they did, I'm sorry. But this is a good way, if anybody has seen like exercises using a bench or a flat exercises, things like that, if you have a ball in your house, you throw that in there every once in a while because it adds that little added core stability because you're going to feel a little bit off balance and it will help to train that. So when you're on the ball, you constantly have to be thinking, squeeze my core and squeeze my butt, even if I'm doing like an upper body exercise. So some benefits to having the ball with you. Even if you're doing it on the mat, I still want you to think, kind of squeeze your core, hold it in place so that your hips aren't shifting around on the mat as your arms are coming out to the side. All right, this one takes a little bit more setup. We're gonna go ahead and get ourselves in position. So started seated or lying on the mat. Let's roll ourselves out. Let's get ourselves in position. Head, neck, upper back supported. I'm lifting my hips up. My arms are gonna come straight up from my chest. I'm gonna unlock my elbows. Arms come out to the side. Inhale, and then exhale, press up to center. Inhale, lower, exhale, press. Arms are nice and long with unlocked elbows. Going for 12. Dumbbell should be kind of right in line with your chest right before you push. And whenever you get 12, remember, carefully bring both dumbbells down to your chest. If you're on the ball, carefully walk yourself back. Before setting your weights down, go ahead and take a little bit of breather. 2 sets down. We are gonna do one more of those. Chest flies are really great for what I call the take top arms. A lot of the ladies know what I'm talking about. That area, like right by your armpit. This area that we like to see positive changes with, chest flies. This is one of those movements that's going to help with that. One of those benefits. All right, so let's see people on the side view. I don't think anybody's rolled away quite yet. If you do, tell us about it because Howard just told us an excellent story. I like to hear them. All right, here we go. Last set through, sitting on the ball or you're on your mat. Let's walk our way out. Hips up, back supported. Upper back supported. 2 hands straight out from the chest. Unlock your elbows, drop your shoulders down. Inhale, lower out to the side. Exhale, press up to center. Keep those elbows unlocked. Squeeze the butt. And once you reach your 12, weights come down to your chest. You can make your way carefully back up. Give yourself a moment to relax. And that's our last exercise for the ball if you're using it. So if you want to push it off to the side so it doesn't come rolling on you. This is my excellent ball holder. It's an inner tube. There you go. Super inventive. Just made it up right now. Use what you got. Alrighty. So this next exercise, we're going to be going into a set of supersets. So that's 2 different exercises. If you have a band, any type of band will do. You're going to want to grab it. You can have one of these ones with handles. It can look like this. It can look like a lot of different things. If you have one, grab it. This is the exercise that we're going to be pairing with our stair exercise. So if you have a chair, or if you have a step, or if you have a set of stairs in your house, you might need to travel just a little bit. So this second exercise in the superset, just warning you ahead of time so that you're not in the dark. This first exercise, what you're going to do is you're going to take your band. We're doing a pull apart. You're going to grab your band a little wider than your own shoulders, okay? The closer your hands get together, the harder it's going to be. The wider your hands are, the easier it will be. So after your first 1 or 2, you'll probably know if it's right and if you will need to make it a little harder or a little easier. From here, we're lowering our shoulders. Arms are going to come straight out from the chest. Elbows are going to stay unlocked. We're going to start with just a little bit of tension. So none of this, no like lax bands happening, okay? A little bit of tension. And then we're going to actually pull the band out to the side all the way until it touches the top of our chest. We're squeezing that area in between our shoulder blades. And we're slowly release. We're going to come back to center, but we're not going to release all of the tension, okay? Keep a little bit of tension, and then we're going to pull out to the side. And then keep some of that tension, come back to center. We're doing 12 of these. If you haven't started, come along with me. Inhale, exhale. Lifting the back of your shoulders. And once you reach your 12, arms can come down. You can set your band down. This is where you're going to need to get to your step or your stair. I'm going to show you what you're doing. And then if you need to get over there, you can. We're doing step up today. Okay? I'm using this kitchen step as a demonstration. If you're a little bit more advanced, you could step on a chair. Just make sure it's secure. Make sure it's like a sturdy chair. That would be more like probably like a 90-degree. This is obviously a little bit less than that. The way I do steps is you're going to have 1 foot on the step, 1 foot on the ground. From here, you're going to step all of your weight up onto the step. You're not going to transfer weight. You're just going to tap with your free foot. So right now, that's my left foot. And then I'm going to step back down, okay? So I'm going to keep all of the weight on that right foot. I'm going to keep that right foot on the steps the whole time. We're going to be doing 10 each side. You can add dumbbells to this too. You can add weights. You can hold them on either side of your body. That's going to add some resistance. Now, if you don't have a step or a staircase in your house and the chair is too tall, what are you going to do? You're about to quit? No, you're going to do a squat. Okay? That's the final alternative. Is if you don't have a step, if you don't have a stair, the chair is too high for you, just do squats. That's what I want you to do instead. So there you go. Many opportunities. Here we're going to go. First set through. 10 each side. Right foot's on. Stepping up. Remember, we're not transferring that weight. We're trying to keep it on that right foot as we step. And then switch. If you're someone doing the squat, give me 12 squats just to add a little zest onto it, I guess. And once you get your 10 and your 10 or your 12 squats, set your weights down, take a little breather here. Some things to note about your step ups too. Common mistakes that I see people do is you start too far away from your step because you're worried about like catching it or something with your foot. So people will be like back here and they'll be like launching themselves forward and backwards. Your torso shouldn't really ever go forward and backwards in a step up. It should just go up and down. So I'll start with my foot kind of right next to it. So then you just see me going this way vertically. It shouldn't look like a arced horizontal movement. So when you go to do step ups, make sure, get right up on that step, that freestanding foot. Alrighty, second time around. Oh, actually real quick, if you don't have a band, sorry, I didn't give anything out for people without bands. For this first exercise, you're gonna bend over slightly and then you're gonna pull your arms apart, okay, for your rear delt kind of movement. So we're gonna be standing up tall with a band. If you don't have bands, you can do that with weights or you can do it with just your arms. If you got the band, go ahead and grab it. Shoulder width distance, closer if you want it to be a little harder. Arms out from our chest, shoulders are down, elbows are unlocked. Second set is 12, here we go. Inhale, exhale. Those shoulders down. Getting those 12, set those band down. We're moving just a little bit quicker. Go ahead, get yourself positioned for your step up or for your squat. Go ahead, grab your weights if you're using them. Head over to your staircase if you're using that. Grab your chair. 10 and 10 for our step up, or 12 if you're doing squats. And switch. Deep breathing. All right, once you finish on both sides, take that little breather, take that rest, grab that water if you need it. Make sure you clear your space. It's always free of items you can trip on. Alrighty, guys. Going into our last set here. Last time through with these pull aparts, so evaluate how the first two felt. If it's not feeling tough by 12, bring those hands closer together. If it's feeling tough, you're probably in the right spot. If it's way too tough, take it out to the side. None of this happening. Drop those shoulders down, elbows are unlocked, knees are unlocked, out in front, out to the side, last 12. Inhale, exhale. Well, set your band down. Let's do it. Last time through step up. Get yourself situated. Grab your step, grab your weight, grab your chair, whatever you're using tonight. We'll start doing those squats. For all my A and B people, I think I already gave you squats today, so you're just getting extra. Good. Ten and 10 or 12 squats. All right, once you finish that 10 and 10, go ahead, take a little breather. Grab some water. I'm just gonna move my step off to the side. Ooh, hopefully you guys are doing good. Getting down, our last two supersets here. So for this next one, you're going to need a single weight, single dumbbell, single kettlebell, single item, whatever you're using as your weight tonight. And we're going to be doing something called single arm high pull. Okay. So this motion, you're going to use a little bit of your lower body, a little bit of your upper body all together. Okay. So it's kind of a two-part series. Your feet are kind of wide. You're going to be holding a weight with one hand. You're going to dip down. So your knees are going to bend. You're going to send your butt back. It's not a full squat. It's just a dip. Okay. Like you're going to jump up in the air. From here, you're going to drive your elbow up. We're going to do it really slow first. Weight comes right up the midline. You're going to pull up to right under your chin. Elbows higher than my shoulder. And then I'm going to release and I'm going to come back down. Okay. That was super slow-mo. What it's going to really look like is a bend, pull, and down. Pull, and down. So that down position is kind of that rest position in between. So you're going to pause, bend, pull, and then come down. I like to think of it like starting like a chainsaw or starting like a sticky lawnmower, that like jerky kind of like grab and pull ripcord motion, except for you're coming vertically. Okay, so it's a dip. You use your leg to pull, and then you're coming back down. So don't get stuck up here and because you're going to kill your shoulder doing that. It's a pull, let that weight come right back down. Pull, let that weight come back down. This is kind of the first step, a building block of something called the snatch movement. So some of you guys that are more advanced, if you've done that full motion before and you can do that, feel free. You can swap that out for this if you're at that level. If you're not, you guys are going to do high pulls with me. So grab your weight. We're going to start with our right hand. We're going to do 10 each side. So we're going to dip. That's our pause motion. Pull, right back down. Pull, and down. Pull, and down. Keep it going, total body. You're breathing, keep those feet on the floor. And once you get 10, go ahead, just take your time, switch over to the other side. Get yourself in that position, dip and pull, dip and pull. Remember, come right back down to center. Chest is up. Alrighty. Give you guys a moment here. Finish out your 10 on your second side. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, we're hitting the mat for exercise number 2. Okay, so come down to your mat or your floor, your carpet, whatever you got. And we're doing glute bridges with our high pulls, okay? So you're lying flat on your back on the mat. Knees are bent. Get them as close to your butt as you can. Hands are going to be on the mat beside you. You're going to lift your hips up as high as they can go. You're going to squeeze your backside, and then you're going to slowly lower down. All right, we're doing 12 of these. We're lift, squeeze, slowly lower down. Lift, squeeze, slowly lower down. Try to keep your knees about shoulder width distance apart as you do this. And breathe. Use everything on the back side. You'll stay on the ground 2 more. Well, I guess if you're counting with me, you guys are probably on a different count. Don't listen to me if you're on a different count. Sorry about that. It's more like 2 more for myself. I told you I'm a bad counter. Sometimes I have to actually think about it really hard. Once you get your set of 12, go ahead, come back to standing. Second exercise is on the floor, so you have the rest time to make your way off the floor. Sometimes that's harder than getting down to getting up. So take your time, but make your way back up. If those glute bridges were really easy for you, another solution for you is this next set. Grab the weight, put it on your hip when you go to lift. You can add some added resistance there if you like. Optional, always optional. The whole thing's optional. All right, guys, let's get after it. Set number 2. Grab that weight. We're gonna do 10 high pulls either side. Give yourself a nice wide stance. Chest is up, dip it down, and then pull. Dip, pull, dip, pull. Think everything come up the midline of your body. Keep that chest up or you're gonna hit yourself in the face. Eyes forward. 10, take a moment, switch sides. Remember, dip is that pausing time if you need a moment in between during that kind of half squat dip. Alrighty, 10 on either side. You guys don't need to wait for me. Go right down to the mat. Give me your second set of 12 glute bridges. Like I said, if you want to add the weight, you can rest the weight or dumbbell across your hips. Take it with you as you bring those hips off the mat. Heels are close to the butt. Going for 12. Once you guys get that 12, got a little bit of recovery time here. Take your time. If you need to hang out on the mat for a minute, do so. A little bit of recovery. We're going to go into one last set of these. We're almost getting to the end of this Wednesday night workout. You guys are doing good. Almost there. Hopefully you're sweating. Sometimes I feel like I'm just sweating here by myself. No, I know you guys are sweating at home. Hopefully you are. All right, hopefully you've killed yourself off the floor. You're back up. Let's do it. Third set. Feet are wide. Dip and pull. 10 each side. Use that lower half. Drive that arm up. Keep that weight close to the middle of your body. Keep the chest. Ten and 10, you know what's happening next. Hit your mat. You can add the weight if you like. Last 12 glute bridges, bring those feet in towards your butt. Lift those hips. Last time through. 12 glute bridges. Once you're done, we're going to make our way up to standing. Good news is you're done with being on the mat. No more rolling around on the floor. Save the best for last. So, as you guys are finishing up, I'm going to talk about what's happening next. Those of you guys that have been training with me a while, in this last superset, our first exercise was a single leg deadlift. So you guys know what that is. You know what that means. What I'm going to demonstrate is a 1.5 deadlift for the first round, and then I'm going to demonstrate a single leg deadlift for the second and third set. If you already know how to do regular single leg deadlifts with weight, do them on your first set. You don't need to wait for me to advance it for you, because you know. If you've never done these before, ever, follow along with me. And you might need something to use for balance. If you have a chair or wall or something to hold on to that's not going to move, you might want to grab that. So a deadlift, very similar to what we did in our warm-up. Our knees are unlocked. We send our hips back. Our chest stays lifted. This is a motion for our hips, our hamstrings, and our glutes, the back side of our body. Okay, so you notice that my knees aren't really doing a whole lot. Okay, it's more about my hips, and my knees are just staying unlocked. Okay, that's that motion. Now we're just going to complicate things by doing it on one leg. Okay, the 1.5 stance is what we're going to do first. So what that means is you're going to stand with your feet together, and then I want you to bring your outside leg back. Toe is on the ground. Weight is all on my left side here. My toe is just going to be there for balance. Okay, my other free hand might be on the wall, or it might be on a chair, it might be on something else for support. From here, I'm going to hinge. I'm gonna reach down, keeping a flat back. I'm gonna stand up. I should feel everything on the back side of that leg, okay? If I wanna add weight to this, it's in that free hand that's not helping me for balance. So I'm here, I'm reaching back, my hand kind of reaches down for my standing leg, and then come back up to standing. We're gonna try to go for 10 each side, so go ahead, start following along with me. It's okay if you're feeling a little off balance. This exercise is to help test your balance, to keep that chest up, knee is unlocked, so all that weight should be on your standing leg. You should really feel this in the back side of that standing leg. Keep your eyes up. Once you guys get 10 on one side, I just want you to flip around. You're doing the exact same thing. Toe is back, weight's all now in my right leg. I'm keeping the weight in my right leg. My left toe is just down there to help me balance. My chest is lifted. That weight's dropping down right on the outside of my standing leg. And on our second side, or however many you got. And if you're all over the place, don't worry about it. It's okay, they do get better with time. Let's add some front raises in and then we'll talk about it. Grab your other weight if you don't have any, 2 weights facing back towards you, shoulders down, raising them up to chest height. We're slowly lowering back down. We're doing this 12 times. Inhale, exhale. Shoulders down. Knees unlocked. 12. Excellent. Hopefully your shoulders burn a little bit at the end there. Once you guys hit your 12, take a breather. Again, if you're new to single leg deadlift, pay attention. I'm going to talk a little bit about them before we go into our set number 2. If that was really hard your first time, if you were falling all over the place and you were like, what the heck is this thing that you just told me to do? Do not change a thing. Just work on this. Just work on the hinge with the foot down. Disregard everything I'm about to say. If you felt pretty okay with that, listen up, because this is what the single leg deadlift is. So in a single leg deadlift, your arm and your leg are moving together. So that back standing leg, instead of just being there on the ground, that's actually coming off the ground. So as that free arm reaches down, that back leg reaches back. Okay, so they happen simultaneously. You want to imagine you've got a string pulling your free hand and it's pulling on your toe, and those things are happening together. So what it is not is you just like reaching down for your toe and then like doing a kick, a donkey kick back, or the opposite where your like leg comes up and then you fall forward. It's very controlled. It's 2 things happening together. You're reaching down, you're reaching up, you're reaching down, you're reaching up. My chest stays up and lifted. It does require a lot of stability. It does require a lot of balance. I do put these in my workout frequently. That's why I said some of my folks have been coming to my workouts for a while, and they've been doing it. So they know what they're doing. If that feels comfortable for you, try that, and maybe try that with no weight. If that's super comfortable for you, go ahead, add your weight. But here we go. We're gonna do some version of it in our second set. So whenever you're ready, get yourself in position and let's go. Second set, chest up, eyes up. Arm and leg working together. Right. 10. Once you guys get 10 on one side, we're gonna go for a trial on the second side. See how well you do. One side's always easier than the other. Eyes up. Ten and 10. Grab onto that second weight. Here we go. Front raises coming right at you without too much rest. 12. Keep those shoulders down, elbows unlocked. All right, 12. And take a little bit of a rest. Whew, catch your breath, grab some water. We got one more set through, guys. We're almost there. We got stretching after this. Hope you guys are all still with me. Haven't panicked left yet. All right, one more time. We can do it. Single leg deadlift, 1.5 deadlift. Even if you want to just break this down, if you're really struggling and you just want to keep 2 feet on the ground, do a hinge, do that. Do whatever you like. Last time through though, do something, move something. Get that weight shift over, get yourself in position, get that chest up. Try to get that arm and leg working together. Communicating. Stabilizing over that leg. Fighting for control. Once you get 10 on one side, you got 10 more. Don't take too much of a break. Just get right after it. You can do it. Ten and 10. Whenever you guys finish, you got 12 more front raises. The last thing on the list tonight. Shoulders are down, knees are unlocked, elbows are unlocked. Last time through 12. And once you guys get 12, whew, set your weights down, set everything down. Nice work. And we always end in seated stretches. So go ahead when you get to the moment, make your way back to your chair or grab a chair if you didn't have one out. We're gonna do a couple minutes of seated stretching before I leave you guys tonight. All right, so find a tall seat, feet are flat on the ground. Let's extend our right leg out, our heel down, our toe is up. We're gonna lean forward, flat back. Feel that stretch. You're gonna feel that stretch just on that muscle we were just working. Should be a familiar feel. Take a couple breaths there. And then bring that leg back in. Go ahead, switch. Heel down, toe up, leaning forward. And then coming back in, we're gonna do a hip opening stretch. So either your ankle on your ankle, open up your hip out to the side, or if you have more flexibility, you can bring your ankle above your knee and let that hip drop, up to you. Wherever your flexibility is at is fine. Feel that stretch up in the side of your hip. This is a good one too if you get low back pain. Sometimes low back pain stems from tightness in our glutes. So sometimes stretching that out can help. Go ahead and switch sides, either ankle on ankle opening to the side or ankle above your knee. Breathe. And then when you're ready, untwist that leg. Let's take our right arm, bring it across our body, hug it in nice and close. And we're going to switch sides, opposite arm, across the body. And then let's just bring 2 arms behind our back, interlace our fingers, drop our shoulders down, open up that chest. Pull those arms away from the body if it feels right. If you want to do a couple neck stretches here, you can. Some of those ones we did at the beginning, tilting your neck side to side. Might feel good to shake your head no. And then release your hands, bring them out in front, clasp in front, and let's round the back. Round the middle of your back. Push those hands forward. If you want to pull to the left, pull to the right. If there's any areas where you're feeling like you need a sense of breath, go ahead and do so.